Hello, AP Government students, sitting here at home, trying to enjoy the evening. Yes, it is my favorite. It is Pepsi Max. Craig Holiday, infinitely better than Coke Zero. Sorry, you're never wrong except on that one issue. So, sitting here with my Pepsi Max, enjoying an evening, doing some homework. Lauren, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
So, I'd like to talk to you about the biggest unit of the year, arguably the most important unit of the year, if you want to understand America. And that would be the First Amendment. Imagine nobody's ever heard of the United States of America, and you want them to understand America in 30 seconds. All kinds of things you could possibly tell them or show them. But my argument is, if you want people to understand the United States of America, have them look at the First Amendment. Remember, there are 4 essential freedoms that are embedded in the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, and all the corollaries with that, freedom of expression, freedom of media and press and all that. So freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association and assembly, and finally the ability and freedom to petition the government. Now, to really understand the philosophy of the Bill of Rights, to understand the entire philosophy of the Constitution and why American government exists in the first place, look at the first few words of the First Amendment. We always think of government nowadays as this institution that gives us stuff, that provides stuff, that gives us health care and gives us social security and roads and bridges and this big military and all this stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, it is very revealing that if you look at the First Amendment, it begins with the words, Congress shall make no law. Let me say that again. Congress shall make no law. In other words, the powers of the government are limited. If you look at the entire Bill of Rights, over and over again, it tells you what the government can't do. They can't quarter troops. They can't have unreasonable searches and seizures. They can't have double jeopardy. They can't have self-incrimination. They can't have cruel and unusual punishment. Over and over and over again. The Bill of Rights tells us what we can't do. Now, why is that important to understand? Because it tells you the essence of American constitutionalism, which is where government is limited, freedom, individual liberty is abundant. And so by having limited government, you maximize the freedom of the individual. And my good buddy, John Stuart Mill, makes 3 reasons why freedom is so essential. The first reason, of course, is very individualistic. We need freedom to be able to define what our happiness is. Remember, Jefferson says we don't have a right to happiness. We don't have a right to success. We have a right to pursue happiness. We have a right to define what our greatest good in life is. And without freedom, without each individual and all their diversity being able to say, that's my important thing, that's your important thing, and everybody has the right to embrace and chase and pursue their important ideals and goals, that is a natural acknowledgement about the diversity of America. So freedom is important for self-fulfillment. Freedom is important for self-actualization. The second reason, of course, has to do with democracy. Without freedom, the rights of the minority can never be protected. And this is the great thing about America. The minority of today can be the majority of tomorrow. America is loud. It's boisterous. Democracy is not clean. It's not easy. It's not Newtonian. It's more like a Darwinian jungle. And yet, over the long run, over the long course of human history, Americans come to a consensus over the most difficult of subjects. Why? Because we have the freedom to say what we think, convince the other side of our truth and our point of view, and hopefully build a coalition and a consensus and move forward as a society. Finally, last reason for having a robust, free society is the advancement of art and science. Sciences and the arts cannot progress unless you make room in a society for genius. Genius needs space to grow, to germinate, to spread its blessings to everybody else. Without freedom, there is no room for Picasso. There is no room for Steve Jobs. There is no room for Einstein or Kevin Rainier. None of these people are going to succeed and do great things unless you have freedom being cherished as the primary principle of your civil society. So First Amendment, civil liberties, it's going to be a great unit. See you later.